do you find yourself wondering about this incredible journey of AI development and its transformative impact across every sector? Well, today I want to dive deep into the heart of innovation with the CEO of a company called Deci. And they're a trailblazing company at the forefront of harnessing artificial intelligence to not just build AI, but to redefine its efficiency and accessibility. So in a world where AI's potential is boundless yet challenged by efficiency and scalability, Deci's collaboration with Qualcomm Technologies is emerging as somewhat of a beacon of progress. And together they're not just addressing the challenges, they're actually setting new benchmarks of what is possible. So today I invite you to join me in exploring the essence of this partnership, the revolutionary AutoNAC technology, and the specific use cases where Deci's AI models are making the impossible possible. And we will cover everything from the Deci-Qualcomm collaboration to enhanced AI efficiency and the transformative impact across industries and that AutoNAC technology that I was talking about a few moments ago. But before we get today's guest on, it's time for a quick shout out to the sponsors of Tech Talks Daily. And in today's digital age where data breaches are all too common, securing sensitive information has never been more critical, right? Well, enter Kiteworks, a pinnacle of managed file transfer security, or MFT security. So with its FedRAMP moderate authorization, a prestigious certification that they've held since 2017 by the Department of Defense, Kiteworks stands as a bastion of security in a sea of uncertainty. This isn't just about meeting standards, though. It's about exceeding them, ensuring your data's safety within your organisation while streamlining compliance processes that ultimately save you time, effort and money. So step into the future of secure file transfer with Kiteworks by visiting kiteworks.com today to see why it's hailed as the most secure MFT on the market. So once again, kiteworks.com. And now, let's get today's guest on. Buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to Tel Aviv, where today's guest is waiting to join us. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Hi, I'm Yonatan. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Deci. Deci is a development platform for AI focused on the performance of the models that people are building and integrating into their applications. We started from the computer vision world, and now we are working strongly in the generative AI space, both in the computer vision side, in text-to-image models and LLMs, and enabling companies to integrate those new set of models into their applications to drive more innovation and new capabilities to their product.
One of the things that put Deci on my radar was your recent partnership with Qualcomm Technologies. So can you tell me a little bit more about the story behind that, the strategic goals, and ultimately how this collaboration can challenge the status quo, or status quo as they would say in the US, across that AI ecosystem? I feel there's got to be a bit of a story behind all this.
Yeah, so a couple of months ago, we started to work with Qualcomm. Qualcomm had several types of hardware for AI, but in our collaboration, we are focused on the AI 100, which is an cloud inference AI chip. So in the AI world, workloads are split between training and inference. So training is the stage where you build a model, you show it a lot of data and train it to be ready or to be accurate. And the inference is the stage where you put models in production and let them work for your users or for your customers. And those are slightly different workloads. And Qualcomm has a new chip that is called the AI 100 that is now integrated into cloud providers like AWS, and we collaborated in order to build models that are optimized and working the best on the Qualcomm ecosystem. So we released two models, one of them called DeciCoder-6B, which is a coding model giving similar capabilities to GitHub Copilot or other coding assistant products for companies that are trying to build a solution. And the second one is DeciDiffusion, which is a text-to-image model similar to Stable Diffusion 1.5 and 2.1, enabling people to generate realistic images from from text. And in both of those models, we achieved significant performance boost, both in accuracy and in inference performance, which is basically the time that it takes to generate the content with those models compared to the standard baseline models that are available in open source. Both of those models that we released are available in open source in our Hugging Face repository. So if you look there, you can find those models with instruction how to run them in general and how to run them on Qualcomm chips. So that essentially was this collaboration, building models to showcase how Deci's models can run best on Qualcomm hardware. And that was the focus that we work together, and we will probably continue to work together on more models, use cases, working with customers, joint customers together, etc.
And there's so much hype around AI at the moment, but one of the things that I love is also there's a lot of excitement about solving real-world problems, delivering business value, how AI can help people work smarter, not harder. So just to bring to life some of what you just said there, with the introduction of DeciCoder-6B and DeciDiffusion, how do these models enhance AI efficiency and ultimately address some of the existing challenges that we're seeing in the AI landscape, particularly in terms of things like performance and cost? Is there anything you can expand on there around the generative AI models and efficiency?
Yeah, so one of the things that we saw when we started Deci about 4 years ago is that model size and the demand for compute is increasing all the time, exponentially. So if you look on the models like 10 years ago, they were significantly smaller and required much less compute compared to the models that we are working with today. So the models are increasing exponentially. We need more and more compute to run those models. And while the hardware companies are doing a great job in building newer chips, but it's not at the pace that the models are getting larger, like GPT-4 is maybe the extreme example of model that is in huge size and requires a lot of resources, both for training and for inference. So there's some gap, which is, for some extent, a market failure between the supply and the demand. We can think about the supply, the GPUs available to run AI models, and the demand is the requirements from those AI models in the training and inference. And there is some market failure, which the phenomenon for, or the evidence for that market failure is that we cannot find today a lot of GPUs available in the cloud. Everyone is using everything because of the demand is so high. And the idea is that we can improve the models and the way people are building those models and designing those models in an automated way in order to make them more efficient and solve that problem of the computational complexity. Today, if you're using one of the largest models like GPT-4 or Claude 2, it will probably take you a couple of seconds to get a response. If you're building a real-time application, that's what probably won't be a reasonable time for your users to wait for the response from the model. So as part of it, is it performance, which is latency, how much time it takes to generate an image or to return an answer, a generated answer by an LLM, or the amount of the cost that it takes to run those production workflows at scale and scaling for all your users.
And just to better understand that transformative impact there, are there any use cases or maybe industries where you see Deci's generative AI models, how they could have that transformative impact? And maybe if you are able, offer an example of how they could revolutionize some of these sectors and use cases that you mentioned. Did anything spring to mind there?
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of traction and usage of generative AI models and Deci models in particular in enterprise use cases. We can split those use cases into two. Yeah. One of them, the first half is internal use cases where companies are building internal tools to help improve the efficiencies in the enterprise's workflow. For example, developers tools, internal developers tools, and internal content creation tools and things like that. Tools that a large organization are building in-house in order to improve the efficiency across the organization. And the second aspect is generative AI that is being integrated into products that the company is offering, or into workflows that the company is offering against their customers. And if we'll take a specific example and we'll try to showcase the same technology and how it would work for internal use case and external use case, we can think about the customer care chatbot. In some cases, the customer care chatbot is used as it could be used as a co-pilot for the customer care representative and helping them kind of bring the right answer or search more effectively or give some tips for the representatives about what to say and how to say and what are the solutions for the problem of the customer. And in the second case, it could be a completely customer-facing customer care chatbot. So this is an example of how can we take probably the most simple or evident use case of LLMs into both the two sides of internal-facing applications and external-facing applications. And obviously, in an adoption of new technology, there are risks, and it's easier to take risks on internal use cases rather than on external use cases. So we see more and more adoption in the co-pilot approach, models and use cases that are being used internally compared to those that are customer-facing. But we see also this increasing over time with the maturity of the technology and the adoption is going forward. So that's where we see that. And if we'll talk specifically on business verticals or areas that we see that technology is being adopted, one of the areas is financial services. We see it across the board in assets analysis, recommendation, and also in customer care use cases, both in the financial industry, but not limited to taking support tickets, classifying them, and doing many other tasks that are related to customer care and customer support use cases. So those are some of the examples, but there are plenty of use cases for generative AI, for example, summarizing customer calls and giving some insights about those requests of the customers and things like that, and many more use cases that currently being adopted for generative AI workflows and use cases.
And another thing that stands out is Deci's neural architecture search technology called AutoNAC, which plays a pivotal role in your AI model development. So for anyone listening, hearing about that for the first time, though, can you just tell me a little bit more about what makes that a little bit different in your approach from others out there in the field, and also the benefits for AI development around that too?
Yeah, so AutoNAC is a technology that automatically designs the models. So in the past, usually people design models manually and chose what will be the structure of the model and how we will train it. And AutoNAC is basically AI that's building AI. It's an automated AI-driven algorithm that help designing neural networks or AI algorithms to be more efficient and to be more accurate. And this is kind of the secret sauce or what we have under the hood in order to build such an amazing models that can be optimized to specific hardware, like the Qualcomm in the example that we gave earlier.
And also your partnership with Qualcomm that we mentioned right at the beginning of the podcast, so that aims to make generative AI ultimately accessible for a broad range of applications. So how do you envision that democratization impacting the development of AI-powered applications and services? Because such a huge talking point right now.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing a lot of adoption and traction from closed source companies. And I think that's the easy way for companies to explore generative AI application. But once this market and industry will mature, we will see more and more companies that those black box APIs with closed source models behind them are not sufficient for them. And they're looking for more control, more access, more customability of the solutions that they are building on those generative AI technologies. And in another track, we'll see open source models will improve significantly and get to the level of the closed source models like GPT-4 and others. So if we connect those two trends together, we'll see more and more companies that are doing the POC level, maybe on one of the closed source model providers, and then shifting in order to get more customization, more control, and more access to the model by shifting towards open source, where in parallel, this year we'll see a significant improvement in models. So the future is open source. We're supporting that future by we so far released around 6 open source generative AI models to open source, all available with permissive license on Hugging Face. And that's the future that we believe, and we are helping to shape that.
And before you came on the podcast today, I was doing a little research on you guys, and DeciCoder-6B has achieved some pretty remarkable efficiency and throughput. So what technical innovations allow this model to outperform its counterparts, and how does it reflect on Qualcomm's Cloud AI 100 capabilities? Anything you can share around this? Because again, huge results from there, weren't they? Quite remarkable.
Yeah, so usually we measure models' capabilities in 2 aspects. One of them is the accuracy of the model, and the second one is the inference performance, or latency or speed. So when considering the accuracy of the DeciCoder-6B, what we see is that it's outperformed famous models like CodeLlama 7B by Facebook and other models, even StarCoder 15B, and our model DeciCoder-6B is doing better than those in accuracy metric when measured on some common open source benchmarks on various programming languages, showing its ability to generate code that is working and doing the task that is being asked for various use cases and programming languages. So that's the accuracy angle, where we showed a slight improvement in accuracy compared to the models that I mentioned, including Cogent 2.5 by Salesforce and other models that are available in open source. The second aspect is the inference performance, which is basically the speed of the model, the speed of the inference of the model, how much time does it take to get an answer from that model. And in that case, we show that this model can get up to 15x faster when measured on the Qualcomm AI 100 chip, and even slightly more than 15x. It depends really on the use case. And that's a significant improvement in speed and cost effectiveness of running those models in production environment at scale. So, and also in the user experience, the amount of time that you need to wait for the model to respond to a call while you're working. So those are major improvements in speed and significant improvement in accuracy that put that model as one of the best in the category to use on the Qualcomm AI 100, and not only on that chip for code generation.
And I should also highlight that both DeciCoder-6B and DeciDiffusion have both been released under open licenses. So I've got to ask, how important is that role of open source in the development and adoption of AI technologies? And what impact do you hope that this will achieve with these releases too?
Yeah, so open source is very important. We strong supporters of open source from the beginning of the company, from SuperGradients, which is an open source repository to train computer vision models, to a family of computer vision models that we released in the past called AutoNAC and AutoNAC Pros, together with a tool for data analysis that is called Data Gradients, and now those generative AI models like DeciCoder, DeciDiffusion, and also other models that we released like DeciLM 7B. So we are strong supporters of open source. We believe that the future is in the AI will come from open source. One of the nice things to see is that basically Google released the transformer architecture as an academic paper. They could keep that transformer is the building block of all the large language models and generative AI in general. One of the building blocks is the transformer blocks or the transformer architecture, and that's something that Google released to open source. Without them doing that, we would probably be in a different point today in the progress in AI in the world. So the way to make progress is to support open source and release things to open source, so everyone can kind of collaboratively push AI forward. And that's the approach in my perspective to move fast in AI as a community.
Well, I cannot thank you enough for coming on here and sharing your insights. But before I let you go, I'm going to ask you to leave everyone listening with one final gift, and that is a book that you'd recommend, that you'd pass down to everyone listening. We'll add it to our Amazon wish list for everybody listening to check out. But what would that book be and why?
So Yeah, I chose a book that is called MPDAP by Frank Slootman. You probably heard about this book, and I hope no one picked it before, but this book went out when we were scaling the organization, like doubling the size of the organization. And one of the things that I was very focused about is how can we keep moving fast while growing the organization. Growing to the organization take a lot of efforts on hiring the right people and onboarding them fast and then continue to ship. And at that point in time, that was my focus as a CEO. And I read that book, and there is a framework that starting from focusing the organization. And I think that was the first thing that kind of caught my mind about what the first step in order to accelerate or in order to amp it up, that you need to focus the organization on its mission, on its goals, etc. And I think that's some of the part that I took from that book to my role as the CEO of the company.
What a great choice. I'll get that added straight to our Amazon wish list. And we did cover a lot of technical information in a short amount of time today. For anybody listening wanting to dig a little bit deeper and find out more information, how it might impact them, their world, how they can contact you or your team, etc., where's the best starting points for all things Deci?
Yeah, so to use the model, simply go to Hugging Face to the Deci space where you can find all the models that we released with the model cards, get all the information about the models, etc. And for the other resources you can find on our website, on our blog posts, some examples of how to use our models, some use cases on how to build RAG and things like that on top of our models. So I think that those two will be the best resource to find some more data about Deci.
Beautiful. Well, I'll get those added to the show notes so people listening can find out more information. And as I said, we covered a lot there, from the collaboration between Deci and Qualcomm Technologies, enhanced AI efficiency and how it addresses challenges in the current AI landscape, not to mention a few specific use cases or industries where this model could have a transformative impact. And of course, learning a little bit more about Deci's neural architecture search technology, AutoNAC. Pure gold for me, but just a big thank you for taking the time to demystify some of this complexity, put it in a language everyone can understand, and hopefully increase adoption. But thank you for sharing that with me today.
Thank you very much.
So as we wrap up today's conversation, I think it's clear that the journey of AI is one of continuous evolution and boundless possibilities. And Deci, in collaboration with Qualcomm Technologies, is not just navigating this journey, they're helping pave new pathways for others to follow. And I think their commitment to enhancing AI efficiency, coupled with the transformative potential of their models across various industries, commitment to open source, and so much more, it just highlights the dawn of this new era in AI development. But as I said, this is just the beginning. How do you see these advancements shaping the future of AI in your industry? What are the challenges and equally opportunities that lie ahead for you in harnessing the full potential of AI? Please share your thoughts with me by emailing me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, just at Neil C. Hughes, nice and easy to find. So let's continue the conversation. And I will also return bright and early tomorrow morning with another podcast waiting in your podcast feed, with another great guest and a completely different technology and industry to attempt to demystify. So hopefully you'll join me again, but thank you for listening today. And until next time, don't be a stranger.